My poly partner got married to a creep and didn't tell me until. Not that it matters, but this is a throwaway. I 29F have practiced poly for 6 years. I've dated my longest partner, Aspen 26F, for 3 years. We live separately. There is no hierarchy. We're typically parallel, although we have met several of each other's other partners randomly throughout the years. We rarely talk about our other relationships. We only need information if it impacts the other. SX health, schedules, and if things get serious. Cool, great, awesome. Until 2 days ago. Aspen called and said she wanted to see me right away. She had news. In my mind, it could have been anything from showing off new shoes or clothes to something wild, like, one time, she built a sculpture out of bottle caps and plastic forks. The point is that she's a bubbly, beautiful person who gets overly excited about everything. When she answered the door, she was already happily bouncing and embracing me, then blurted out, "I got married." WTF. I know we keep things private for the most part. But what the actual F? Married. Oh, but that's not all she had to share. But she could tell I wasn't sharing in her joy. I couldn't form words though, and about the time I tried to open my mouth, I heard, "Hey, sweet thing." I turned around to see a very familiar face. 6 months ago, I was going through a breakup with another partner. I was bored or lonely, got on a dating app, and matched with Benji 36, who claimed to be poly or partnered. We met, hit it off, and hooked up for about 3 months. He wanted more, I didn't. Which normally wouldn't have been a big deal, but he was persistent and kind of overbearing, claiming he was falling for me, and constantly questioned me about other partners and the SX I was having. I had to break it off. But it was him. It was Benji. We were both speechless, while Aspen was all excited to have dropped this massive bomb. I'd only talked about him in passing, and what Aspen needed to know. I didn't have time to react. I walked out. I've never run away from anything, and I ran away from her. What am I doing? I've spent the last 2 days feeling like I'm in a tunnel. I'm absolutely lost. The only thing I could manage to get through to her was a text that said, "I'm sorry, I need to process this." She asked if this means I don't love her or want to be with her anymore. It's just too much to take in. There's so much going on in my head. Of course, I still love her. Damn, she's the first person I've ever said that to. I'd be okay with staying with her. Actually, I don't even know her at this point. Everything's in shambles. In the comments. OP. She knew I was casually hooking up with someone via text, that we were using proper protection, etc. I don't even know why I let it go on for 3 months. My therapist says it's because I was craving attention, missing the partner I broke up with, and using SX to mask my emotions for that breakup. He really was a good distraction, but he continued to rub me the wrong way. I don't believe he's told her, and I haven't because I'm in complete shock. I know her other partners in passing. I never knew she was dating someone new or that it was Benji. Looking back through texts, she had a NSA hookup 3 and held weeks ago with a guy who she called by another name. So I assume it wasn't Benji. But now I don't know. OP. I finally talked to her. I told her he was the guy I was hooking up with and the same guy I vented to her about. I told her I knew him as Benji. She said that he told her all about our relationship from his perspective after I ran away. His middle name is supposedly Benji, and his first name is Chuck, the effing guy she had as opposed. NSA one night stand with 5 weeks ago. IT if she was hooking up more. That's not what I was told. And she acknowledged that. She said she didn't know it was the same person until he told her. And she didn't tell me originally because she wanted to spare my feelings after a string of failed hookups recently and didn't want to hurt me. So she chose not to tell me. When I asked what else he'd told her or how it went from an ons to marriage, she said I wouldn't understand. She's asking me to give this a chance. Nothing will change between us. She doesn't care about his or my past, even though it happened yesterday, in my opinion. She wants me to meet with her to give her a chance to explain. This is probably a mess and unintelligible at this point. Update. This is too large to update on the other post. I don't know. I'm going to paste my notes here and give an update. I can't thank everyone enough for all of the advice and support. I'm solo poly, and at this point, Aspen is my only serious partner. I have no primaries and prefer that. Aspen was also solo poly. Even though we live separately, we're very much intertwined. We'd known each other for 4 years before we started dating, so there's a lot of familiarity and history. I know it's unusual that we don't police each other's SX lives or relationships. I thought I trusted her judgment. I don't care who she is seeing as long as she's okay, and unless it impacts me in some way, I don't pry. Aspen is very much a free spirit, wants to experience life to the fullest, and doesn't want anything to hold her back. However, she believes in fairy tales and Cinderella-type love stories. But she never sought out more than ons and typically F-boy types. The boo-boo, no judgments. Anyway, I do love her so much, but I'd never be able to give her that fairy tale. Her other relationships have all been short-lived since we've been together. But she has had LTR 2 years in the past. I matched with Benji, in other words Chuck, early in May. We hooked up once. All was fine. No immediate red flags. We didn't exchange phone numbers. In mid-May, a week later, I get back on the app and see a message from him. We started talking again. I was going out of town for work the following week and told him I wouldn't mind getting together with him when I got back. What'd you know? He's free and can easily come to the town I'm in for a fun night. Again, the night came and went without a hitch. I can't think of one thing at that point. Now he had my number, but would randomly message through the app, and I would only see it when I got on it. We hooked up 2 more times when I got back. He started texting more. Not just trying to call, but randomly FaceTiming. Just to be like, what cha doing? Reaffirmed, I only wanted FWB. We could smoke, chill, and F. I don't want to know about your dog's diarrhea, okay? I don't want to tell you what I'm doing multiple times a day. We were just F buddies. He agreed again. I wanted 1.5 inches, and then he asked to go after our original talks, and appeared to respect it for about 2 more weeks until he did. And Ian. And started asking about sexual partners. Specifically, I wanted to know if my partners were male or female. We already discussed this, and he was apparently not used to not knowing other people. A SX partner is a SX partner in my mind. It doesn't matter if you're male or female. He would talk about finding the one and settling down. And I was flabbergasted that I never wanted that. He kept saying he wanted more if I was ready. And he would drop the apps if I told him to. He couldn't believe I was really living independently, and asked me how much money I made. Asking if I was still swiping on the apps constantly. The last time we hooked up was July 4th. I, however, stormed out that time too. Because this mother effer had the audacity to ask about going condomless mid-SX. So this is the 3rd time he asked. Why the F am I so stupid? I said nope, and pushed him off me and walked out. He did contact me a few times and asked if I had his pullover. Elmao thinks it's a cardigan, but yeah, I have it since I couldn't find my shirt the night I left. I picked up the cardigan and threw it on. I'm not this petty. I'm not this petty. I'm not this petty. I only responded with a picture of his porch with the cardigan on the bench. And said, here you go. I thought I blocked his number, but I only muted him. So the last time I spoke to him was in mid-July. He did send messages on the app, but I hadn't checked it until after the ambush, according to Aspen. They officially met at the gym on September 29th, but had seen each other around and had midterm interactions until then. The hookup I was aware of was on October 1st. I went out of town the 2nd week of October, and that's when Aspen limited her contact with me because she was upset and had to stay longer. They spent every day together during my work trip. And she claims she didn't tell me due to my many recently failed hookups and heartbreaks. Claims everything was fine with us when I got back. This is her usual behavior. Very non-confrontational and will retreat to avoid problems. But there's never been anything close to this. She had to go out of town last week, and guess what? He could go with her. Of effing course. She claims it was her idea to blow off her work arrangements, went to Vegas, got married Wednesday, and did F all until she got home early Saturday morning. She called me at 6 a.m. and said she had something to make me all giddy and SHD. She told me her plane landed at 10:30, and she should be home by 10:50. So I legit marked my calendar reminder for 10:50 and got to her house at 10:45. And the rest? Well, yeah. What he told her exactly isn't clear. But she said, he told me all about it, and that you weren't ready to settle down. I did tell her he was the same Aswad who I vented about. I've told her everything. She's not listening. She's got an excuse for everything and a comeback for everything I say, and she's being awfully hurtful. Just go look at my comments. I cannot type it again. It made me sick. It sounds like he's definitely love-bombed her. And she was, unfortunately, an easy target. I may have run, but I'm not abandoning her. Her mom, sister, other partners, and I are all in this together. I may be wrong. We may be wrong. I don't know what else to add right now. You all have been really, really helpful. I didn't know what to do with so many shared or mutual IRL connections. I thought I'd sound bitter or jealous, which I'm not at all. He's not Prince Charming. He's a creep. I vented to her about him during or right after the fact. She knows it was him and everything that happened. What's worse is that I don't normally share as freely as she does. So the one time I share with her about a hookup or partner, it's like it doesn't effing matter. I'm having such a hard time believing she's sane. and did all of this in 3.5 weeks. Because it's scary, scary, scary to assume he's manipulated her this much already, you know. Thank you for watching the video.